Hall of Fame champion trainer, Gary Hall Senior. And Gary, you've got 5 of the 10 runners in the feature event on Friday night at Gloucester Park, the Lord Mayor's Cup.
Oh really? I didn't know I had 5 of the 10, but yeah, that's good. It gives me a 50% winning chance.
And all harness racing fans will be anxious to flock to Gloucester Park on Friday night, mainly to see the wonderful horse Chicago Bull contest the Lord Mayor's Cup. He's drawn nicely at barrier 2. Gary Jr. comes back after a week's suspension. He'll be in the sulky behind Chicago Bull, and you can't fault the way Chicago Bull's racing.
Yeah, no, Ken, he's going great. You know, he's probably an overachiever for what he is. He's a little insignificant horse and not much power to him, but he seems to be getting in the money all the time. I don't think he's missed the money in WA. So, and he's got a terrific record, and he's 2 Inders wins, second in the final and second in the Pacing Cup, winning the Pacing Cup and the Fremantle Cup the year before. He's just been a great horse for me. And
looking at his last start, it was a gallant effort to run second behind a very good horse in Soho Tribeca.
Yeah, well, we all know how good Soho Tribeca is when he leads. He beat Lazarus point blank when he led, and was impossible to run him once Soho Tribeca got the lead. But Bully faced the breeze and went good. He ran a good gallant second, so very happy with him.
I should imagine Gary will be very keen to lead with Chicago Bull from barrier 2 on Friday night.
Yeah, I should imagine he probably would be. I'd say that would be his aim.
He should be able to cross a Hoka punter easily enough in the early stages.
He should be able to cross him because he'll be told to hand over. So that'll be a Hoka punter's best in Hoka punter's best interest. Probably the only fly in the ointment's Better's Fire coming out, but Chicago Bull's a lot quicker out than Hard Copy, and he held Better's Fire reasonably. So I think, although there might be a bit of a dash early, I think he'll still find the lead.
And I'm excited at the way Norvik Nighthowl's racing for you. He can't break through for an overdue win, but he's knocking on the door, isn't he, Norvik Nightowl?
He certainly is. He's just been unlucky with the barrier draws in strong fields where the pace hasn't been on, so he hasn't been able to get into it. So I would say, when he does draw a barrier where he can either lead or the race looks like being run up tempo, I'm sure he'll be a force, yeah.
And My Hard Copy in the Lord Mayor's Cup on Friday night. No luck in the barrier draw, drawn the extreme outside barrier 9, but that normally doesn't worry My Hard Copy.
Hasn't done in the past, probably might in this race. He's won 3 out of 5 this time back, and his 2 unplaced runs were when he was held up for a run, so I'm sure he'll go well. He's going really well, so I'm real happy with him. So yeah, but barrier 9's definitely a stumbling block.
And also a stumbling block, I'd say, for American Boy, who's drawn barrier 8 for you.
Yeah, he hasn't got quite the class of the other my 4 runners, but he is a very nice horse, and his run last start was very good. I was putting him in hoping that he could maybe draw 1 or 2 so that he could earn, but from out there he's going to be struggling.
And Gary, you start the program with race 1 with a couple of very nice 3-year-olds in One Off Delight, a winner at Pinjarra on Monday afternoon, and Speedman, a very promising 3-year-old. One Off Delight's drawn barrier 1, Speedman drawn barrier 4.
Yeah, they're both nice horses. I think Speedman's probably got the edge on One Off Delight at this stage, but the good part about One Off Delight is WA bred, so he's got those races available to him, and yeah, he was quite good on Monday at Pinjarra, beating Bond's good youngster and unbeaten youngster. So yeah, he's in with some sort of a chance. Yeah, and Speedman would be the best of the 2. I would imagine Gary would drive him.
How do you think Speedman will measure up against a youngster like Beecher's Brook, who certainly looked the part when he won here at Gloucester Park recently? Yeah,
he's pretty inexperienced, but so is Beecher's Brook, and I think he's a strong star. Speedman, he faced the breeze outside of Mr. and he just got beat by him, and I think he's going to be very hard to beat in this race.
And I think you've only got one other runner in the program. I'm a Rock and Roll Legend.
Yep. He's been unlucky in barrier draws. He's finally got one, so hopefully we can use it.
All the best of luck on Friday night, Gary.
Thanks, Ken.